You're listening to the Live Wild podcast. You're very welcome along today, and I'm your host, Hilary Rose. This episode is a little different. It's called The Art of Showing Up. So let me start with this. Most people aren't stuck because they lack discipline or motivation. They're stuck because they don't know how to show up for themselves, especially when life feels busy, loud, or overwhelming. When we talk about showing up, we usually imagine effort, pushing or hustling, but what if showing up is actually an art? Something practiced gently, consistently, and on purpose. Today, I want to talk about the art of showing up, and I want to give you something practical you can actually use. Showing up does not mean being confident. It does not mean having clarity. And it definitely doesn't mean having it all figured out. Showing up simply means this: you arrive as you are, and you don't abandon yourself. And here's something I want you to really hear. You don't need to show up for hours. You don't need to, a morning routine that starts at 5 a.m. 1% of your day is 14.4 minutes. 14.4 minutes, not even 15 minutes. So let me ask you this. Can you show up for yourself for 1% of your day? When I was preparing for my TEDx talk, Why Rest Isn't Lazy, something really important became clear to me. We've been taught that rest is something you earn after you've done enough, achieved enough, proved enough. But rest isn't a reward. Rest is a way of showing up for yourself. And in that talk, I explored how rest isn't about switching off from life. It's about reconnecting to it. Rest is how we regulate our nervous system. It's how we access clarity. It's how we rebuild trust within ourselves. When you rest, you're saying, I matter enough to pause. I matter enough to listen. That to me is one of the most powerful forms of showing up there is. For me, the art of showing up comes down to 4 simple tenets. Body, nourish, choose, and live. So for body, showing up starts in the body. If your nervous system is overwhelmed, your mind will follow. You can't show up if you're shut down. And sometimes showing up is just as simple as placing your feet on the ground and taking one conscious breath. Nourish. Nourishment isn't just about food. It's what you consume emotionally, mentally, energetically. What you scroll, hands up. That's my downfall. What you listen to, what you say to yourself, all of it is nourishment. Choose. Every day you're choosing, whether consciously or unconsciously. Showing up means choosing yourself in small ways, even when it would be easier not to. Live. Living isn't about productivity, it's about presence. Showing up means you don't postpone your life until everything is perfect. None of this requires motivation. None of it requires confidence. It requires 14.4 minutes of willingness. Sometimes those 14.4 minutes are rest. Sometimes they're a breath. They're a boundary. Showing up isn't about fixing yourself. It's about reconnecting to yourself. And the more you practice it, the more self-trust you build. If this episode has resonated, I talk much more about the art of showing up and these 4 tenets on my Instagram page and on LinkedIn. I share reflections, practical tools, and conversations around self-leadership, well-being, rest, and showing up without burning out. You don't need to become someone new to show up powerfully. You just need to stop leaving yourself behind. So today I want to thank you for showing up with me and just listening. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Live Wild. If you enjoyed our conversation, make sure to follow the show and share it with someone who might need it today. And if you'd like to go deeper, you'll find all my work for now on Instagram at @HilaryRose and on my LinkedIn page, with links to both in the show notes, from keynote speaking and corporate facilitation to one-to-one consultations. You can also find details on upcoming events, workshops, and everything happening in the Live Wild community. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and is not a substitute for professional, medical, or therapeutic advice. Thank you for being part of this community. Stay curious, stay courageous, and as always, live wild.